All right, I'm going to show you how to make a little felt flipper target for slingshots or even for BB guns or whatever you may want. Using these super sliders. Found these at Walmart. They're the cheapest ones. They're nice and thin. It's just a couple millimeters of felt, nice dense felt, and then a little bit of foam, and it's adhesive backed. These ones are 1.5 inches. You can barely read it down there. It says 38 millimeters, so about 40 millimeter spinner. So you're gonna need 2 of those, some strap. This is just some 1-inch webbing that I cut from a bag. Some all-purpose flexible adhesive, and then I use a couple of blocks in my vise to squeeze it for the glue to set. And I also use single or 1 or 2 3/8-inch staples to hold the strap in there while you're squeezing it down. Especially on these smaller ones, I found that when you go to set it up with the glue, sometimes the strap will just pop right out the side. So the staple gets rid of that. So real simple, pop these off, and I like to measure so that you got enough strap on there that you can feed like a piece of paracord or elastic through if you want. And then you also want to go through most of the target. So let's go ahead and cut that off right there. You don't need to singe the ends, but it doesn't hurt. So there's that. And while these are adhesive backed, it's nowhere near sticky enough to withstand repeated hits from a slingshot or anything for that matter, really. So that's where this stuff comes in. See if it even still, yeah, it still works. So just try and cover all that you can on both sides. And whatever extra is there, it just squeezes out and you can trim it off later. And then make sure you get on the inside of that. Fold it over. Make sure you still have an open spot at the top. Sorry. So that you can feed your line through. And you want to get some all over. All right. And you got plenty of time to work this stuff, really. But what you want is kind of just to set up like that. Still got plenty of room. Looks nice and fairly even. So once everything is lined up, just go ahead and just sink a couple of, let's do one from each side. A couple of little staples. And like I said, what that does is when you go to squeeze it down in the vise, it keeps this from just squishing out. So I'm going to readjust you a little bit here, and we'll get this thing clamped up. All right. It's going to be kind of fiddly. It's easier, honestly, with the bigger target. I've been using a 3-inch slider, or 3-inch target made of these foam sliders for the past couple of weeks, past couple of months by now, and it's been doing really well. And that one was a lot easier to get set up in the vise. So you can just kind of see that in there. Let's see here. Make sure you can. Sorry about that. And just squeeze it down nice and tight. Can't really overdo it. See all that glue pushing out? It's pushing out nice and even all the way around. And yep, nice and even. And we'll come back when it's all set up. All right, now it's time for the big reveal. As exciting as it can be. So it's been sitting in there, been about 12 hours. Let's see here. All right. So that's what you're left with. You got the little squeeze out parts of the glue that you can cut off if you want, or they just kind of fall off naturally. And then you can just take a pair of pliers and like so, and just pull out those staples, and you got yourself a little target. I like the 1.5 because that's about the size of a squirrel's head. So if you can get pretty proficient at shooting that, you'll be good to go for squirrel hunting. All right, so I figured while I'm at it too, if you want, grab yourself some paracord and the target that you just made, and you can take it out into the woods, or show you my Catchbox here. Got one of these blue barrels. Don't know what was in it. I found it out in the woods one day. I figured I'd just show you how I have mine set up. All I did was I cut an opening in the front of it, just under halfway through. So I don't know if you can really understand that. This arrow shaft that I'm using to hold up the blanket in there is pretty much the widest part. And then I just came forward 4 or 6 inches, and that's where I cut my opening. I cut it nice and wide. You can see the blanket I have in there. And I got plenty of strings holding up various things in here. And just got the blanket draped over there. Held in with binder clips so I don't have to readjust it after every time I shoot at it. I have a piece of paracord up there to hang the cardboard, and that's just so if I'm like shooting paper or something, I have something to stick it to. I have a piece of paracord below that comes across, and here's my other spinner targets. Yeah, here we go. So there's another 1.5 incher, and this is a 3 incher. This has been well used, and I've only had to glue it up a little bit right there. Other than that, it's been holding up really well. But what I do is I just feed the paracord through there, and then feed the paracord through this little hole right here, and then just tie a little slip knot, and it'll hold it just like that, like a little shooting gallery. And this last cord right here, just a hole drilled right in the top, that's for hanging cans. So that's kind of my setup. If I'm not out in the woods shooting cans and stuff that I find, this is nice. I can just stand right in my garage and shoot all day if I want, and that's how I do it. All right.